The Matchmaker is the third episode of the second season of Frasier. This is directed by David Lee, and as I pretty much always say, this is another good episode of Frasier. I think it's very well written. I think it's quite suspenseful because it's quite unclear how things are going to play out, and I rather enjoyed it. Frasier meets somebody called Tom Duran, played by Eric Lutes, and the night before, Daphne had become quite upset because she was just lamenting the state of her love life, and it also got Frasier down a bit. And Frasier started to talk about a barmaid from Boston and also Lilith, which made the Cheers fan in me sing quite a lot. And the next day, when he meets Tom, he decides to invite him to his house, and the plan is to invite him for dinner. Daphne will be there and Martin will be there. So it's not quite setting him up on a date, but it's trying to make an excuse to make Tom meet Daphne. And unfortunately, we learn about 3 seconds afterwards that Tom is gay when he tells something to Roz because they meet down at the radio station. But Frasier doesn't know this. And it's unclear when, if ever, Frasier will find out or how this dinner is going to play out. And I think they made a really great decision to include Niles. Niles finds out that Frasier is trying to set somebody up with Daphne, and obviously he's not happy about this because Niles is infatuated with her. And I won't say exactly what Niles brings to this or what his role is, but I think it was a really good decision to include him in the narrative because I just thought he was fabulous. And this episode actually has one of my favourite moments with just the best comedic timing ever, but it's a spoiler. Well, not really a spoiler, I guess, but I'll discuss it in a moment just in case you don't want to know any of the funny bits in any detail. I think it's a fun narrative because I think as viewers we're waiting for Frasier to get into an awkward situation where we know more than he does, and I love that sense of dramatic irony. Tom is a great character, he's very likable. Daphne looked gorgeous in that dress. The colour of the dress is just the most beautiful thing ever. It's also nice to see Daphne dressing up a little bit because we don't normally get to see that side of her character too often, at least this stage. And Eddie is not in this very much. He's in it a little bit, but considering the previous episode was all about Eddie, I think that that's okay. Definitely a really enjoyable episode. So I guess very briefly, I'll just mention the bit that I absolutely loved, and it's one of my favourite moments in all of Frasier. So this is a tiny spoiler for something funny that happens. And it's the moment where Frasier and Daphne and Tom are talking by the window. We have this gorgeous skyline in the background, and Frasier mentions something, or Daphne, one of the characters, mentions something about laughing, and then a heartbeat later, all we hear is Martin cackling from the kitchen. And we know that Niles has just told him that he's found out that Tom thinks he's dating Frasier. And the timing of it was amazing. The sound of Martin's laughter was incredible. And then obviously it cuts to them laughing hysterically in the kitchen. Frasier completely oblivious to why. And I just thought it was very, very well done. Really, really brilliant episode, very well written, great comedic performances. And as I said, Tom is a really likable character too, which helps. Definitely an episode that I think I'll always love.